Boeing got a $20 billion contract to build a jet that could win wars before they start. The goal was simple: make a fighter faster, smarter, and quieter than anything ever built. They called it the F-47. It was developed with NASA under the Aerospace Innovation Initiative. Tests began in the Mojave Desert, where the world's most secret aircraft are born. On August 5, 2025, something historic happened. A flash crossed the sky. No boom, no sound, only silence. The F-47 broke the sound barrier without making a noise. This jet can fly Mach 1+ without afterburners. It can command drone swarms from the cockpit. It can hide from radar, heat, sound, and even sight. Each jet costs nearly $300 million, 3 times an F-35. But this flight wasn't about money. It was a message to China, Russia, and every nation watching. Because what NASA and Boeing just tested may change warfare forever. Stay till the end to see why this single flight could decide who controls the sky by 2030. On August 5th, 2025, a new kind of test flight took place over the Mojave Desert. People nearby saw a quick flash move across the sky. There was no thunder or boom that usually follows a supersonic jet. The sky stayed silent. That test was the NASA F-47, a jet made to fly faster than sound without creating noise. It was part of a classified project that started more than 20 years ago. Thousands of engineers worked on it through many failures and design changes. The goal was to build a fighter that could fly quietly, stay hidden, and move faster than anything else. When the F-47 flew, it completed a mission that most experts thought was impossible. The aircraft stayed invisible on radar during the entire flight. People in control rooms could not trace its location or speed. To anyone watching, it looked like a bright object appearing for a few seconds then disappearing. There was no smoke trail or contrail in the sky. It moved fast, stayed quiet, and was gone before sensors could react. The success of this flight changed how air combat will be planned in the future. It proved that technology, not size or speed, now decides who controls the sky. So how did NASA reach this point? For many decades, both NASA and Boeing tried to build the next generation of fighter jets. Each new design was meant to be faster, smarter, and stronger. But every test ended the same way, in failure. Prototypes crashed in the desert. Budgets were cut. Billions of dollars were lost. The Mojave Desert became a graveyard of broken aircraft and unfinished dreams. Every project gave new data, but none produced a working jet. The more they tested, the more they learned what didn't work. It was slow, costly, and frustrating for the people who built them. Some engineers spent their entire careers trying to fix problems that never ended. Still, they refused to stop. Then, in 2014, a small team inside DARPA started something new: the Aerospace Innovation Initiative. This program created the first real breakthrough. It focused on building small X-planes to test quiet speed, stealth, and flight control. Those tests gave the first real blueprints for what later became the F-47. For many engineers, it was like Edison failing 1,000 times before his light bulb finally worked. Years of loss built the foundation for success. Failure became the one thing that pushed progress forward. Decades of mistakes finally shaped the jet that could change the future. But who would actually build it? That's where Trump's $20 billion gamble enters the story. In January 2025, President Donald Trump made a decision that changed the future of air power. He ordered a direct competition between Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and Raytheon. The goal was clear: build the next 6th-generation fighter jet before China or Russia could. It became the contract of a lifetime. Each company built secret prototypes and pushed new AI flight systems to the limit. The pressure was high, and the deadline was short. Trump watched reports every week, waiting for real results. Then he signed the paper that started a global arms race. Billions of dollars began flowing into hypersonic research, stealth labs, and AI networks. When the tests ended, one company stood out. Boeing won the deal, a $20 billion contract to build what Trump called an airborne fortress. It wasn't just a business win. It was America's answer to extinction. Losing the sky meant losing the edge that protected the country for decades. The risk was huge, like betting everything on one horse when the race decides survival. Lockheed and Raytheon lost the bid, but Boeing's victory changed the defense industry overnight. The message was simple: whoever controlled the F-47 would control the future of air combat. But what did Boeing actually promise to build? Because the F-47 isn't just a jet, it's a thinking machine. The F-47 is not a normal fighter jet. It was built to think. Inside it lives an AI brain that can learn, adapt, and command. A jet that thinks is terrifying, but it's invisible too. And that's what makes every enemy panic. The AI system inside the F-47 gives one pilot the power to command an entire drone army. From the cockpit, the pilot can manage dozens of drones flying in perfect coordination. They react instantly, sharing data and adjusting to the enemy in real time. Its adaptive engines change performance with air pressure, speed, and heat. The jet's command brain can predict enemy moves before a pilot even sees them. It makes decisions in microseconds, faster than any human reflex. The pilot becomes a commander, not a traditional fighter. From above, they control the entire battlefield. It's like playing chess while your enemy plays checkers, always one move ahead. Old-style dogfights are now obsolete. The F-47 doesn't chase targets. It directs swarms to finish the fight. And if a pilot is hurt or disconnected, the jet keeps flying on its own. It can complete missions independently without a single human command. That's how the F-47 changed the meaning of air power forever. The F-47 was built to disappear. It uses multispectral cloaking, a system that hides the jet from radar, infrared, sound, and even human sight. It doesn't hide in clouds. It hides in physics itself. An invisible thinking jet sounds impossible, but it's real and it's flying today. The F-47 bends and absorbs the frequencies that other systems use to detect targets. That means no radar signal, no infrared glow, and no engine sound can expose its position. Traditional stealth aircraft reduce visibility. The F-47 erases it completely. It's not a radar trick, it's physics bending invisibility. To enemy radars, the jet doesn't show up as a shadow. It shows up as nothing. China and Russia have spent billions on advanced tracking systems, but none can find the F-47. Their strongest sensors go blank when the jet passes overhead. It's like fighting a ghost that can strike you, but you can't strike back. For the first time, enemies face a threat they can't see, track, or shoot. That level of stealth makes their entire defense network almost useless. The multispectral cloaking works across every detection layer. It absorbs, bends, or redirects all signals. In simple words, the F-47 is invisible. America built an invisible thinking jet, but China wasn't staying quiet. What they revealed in August 2025 shocked the Pentagon. In August 2025, new photos started spreading online. They showed two Chinese aircraft that the world had never seen before. Their names were J-36 and J-50. Both were sixth-generation fighter prototypes built in total secrecy. Each jet had a tailless design, a pointed nose, and W-shaped wings that reduced drag and radar reflection. They were fast, clean, and clearly not experimental toys. Beijing had fast-tracked its own sixth-generation program, aiming to field operational fighters by 2030. The message was clear. China didn't want to match America. It wanted to surpass it. Inside the Pentagon, planners realized the technology gap was closing much faster than anyone predicted. For decades, the US had led in stealth, range, and intelligence systems. Now, China's J-36 and J-50 threatened that lead. It was like leading a race and suddenly seeing your opponent sprint past you. Analysts warned that by 2030, these jets could challenge US carrier groups in the Taiwan Strait. Even more concerning, China's timeline was years ahead of America's own projections. Every test flight from Beijing sent a warning across the Pacific. China was building speed and momentum. The competition was no longer secret. It was global. But the F-47 came with a price tag that made Congress nervous. Nearly 3 times the cost of an F-35. Was it really worth it? Each F-47 costs almost $300 million. That's about 3 times the price of an F-35. When the numbers reached Congress, lawmakers were unsure what to do. The cost was enormous. But then the military chiefs gave a simple warning. Without it, we lose the sky. Without the sky, we lose everything. That statement changed the room. The debate shifted from budget to survival. Generals explained that the F-47 wasn't about luxury. It was about staying alive in a new kind of war. They said China and Russia were building systems that could destroy old jets before they even launched. America needed a machine that could not just fight, but think and hide. Soon after, the contract was approved. The total program could reach $60 billion once all units were deployed. Supporters called it an insurance policy against a global disaster. Critics called it the most expensive experiment in aviation history. But for US defense leaders, the choice was clear. It was like buying very expensive insurance. You hope you never need it, but you can't afford not to have it. The decision crossed a financial line that changed global defense spending forever. America had now bet its future on one aircraft, and the world responded. Because the F-47 had just ignited an arms race that is still accelerating. After the F-47 took flight, the world didn't rest. It reacted. Russia restarted its long-delayed PAKDA stealth bomber project. Europe pushed forward with the Future Combat Air System, a joint plan between France, Germany, and Spain. At the same time, Japan and the United Kingdom joined forces on their own program, called GCAP, the Global Combat Air Program. Now, every major power was racing to field a sixth-generation fighter. It was no longer about matching the United States. It was about surviving. France, Italy, Spain, Germany, Japan, and the UK all increased their defense budgets and moved faster than ever before. Each country wanted a weapon that could decide wars before they began. The stakes felt like the space race, but this time the goal was global dominance. Experts warned that these aircraft could end a conflict in hours or end humanity in minutes. This new arms race became the most expensive military competition since the Cold War. Nations are racing, but the real revolution isn't the jets, it's who's flying them. Or more accurately, who isn't. Modern air combat is no longer about speed or skill, it's about computation. New quantum links allow the F-47 to control large drone swarms with no delay. Decisions are made in microseconds. Human pilots are now more like observers. The AI systems decide targets, timing, and tactics faster than the human brain can react. War is no longer fought, it's calculated. The F-47's brain gathers radar and sensor data across miles of sky and runs millions of simulations at once. It chooses outcomes before humans even understand the problem. That power changes everything. The age of the ace pilot is ending. It's being replaced by AI-commanded swarms. It's like self-driving cars, except they're flying and carrying weapons. Experts are now debating whether machines should have the right to make life and death decisions. Can we really trust AI to control modern warfare? Some analysts believe human pilots will be obsolete by 2040. The next wars might be machine versus machine. AI is taking command, and humans are stepping back. But what does this mean for the future? Because 2030 is the deadline. By 2030, the race for air dominance will decide who controls the world order. Whoever fields the first true sixth-generation fighter will set the rules for the next century. The F-47's test flight was only the beginning. What comes next will reshape the planet. Trade routes, alliances, and even governments depend on who controls the sky. China is aiming to deploy its next-gen fighters by 2030. America's timeline is classified, but insiders say it's closer than most expect. The world isn't shocked by what it saw. It's afraid of what's coming next. Because when air dominance shifts, everything beneath it changes. It's like nuclear weapons in 1945. The first to use them dominated the globe. This new race is no different. The nation that controls the sky controls everything below it. Military analysts believe the 2030s will decide the next 100 years of global power. The deadline is closing fast. The stakes couldn't be higher. 2030 is the deadline. So who wins this race? And what does it mean for humanity? Here's the truth. The F-47 test flight wasn't about technology. It was about power. The same month, China leaked its J-36 photos to send a message. We're coming. America replied, we're ready. This isn't an arms race. It's a survival race. People think these jets are about speed or stealth. They're wrong. It's about control. AI drone swarms and invisible flight will decide who rules the 21st century. The F-47 was a warning. America won't back down. August 5th, 2025. Remember that date. The flash over Mojave Desert proved the future of warfare has arrived. Gunpowder, nukes, now AI jets. The question isn't if they'll change the world, it's who will control them when they do. From decades of failure to a $20 billion Boeing contract, the F-47 became the next evolution of air combat. And China's J-36 shows the race is just beginning. You've seen adaptive AI, multispectral stealth, drone swarm command, and a $300 million price tag that could reshape the world by 2030. If this 6th-gen arms race shocked you, subscribe for more stories about military tech and the future of warfare. Which surprised you more, F-47, J-36, AI, or the cost of control?